This is Tuesday training. I want to welcome everyone that's here for the first time or new to the team. Most of us here are already teammates, and I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for putting time in this. I know it takes time to perfect your craft, especially when you're in this business. So thank you for being here, and I hope that this training would add some value and to you and to your organization. Tonight we are here to talk about something that it's happening. It's been happening over the last couple of years, and it's posts, it's social media. It's important for us in this industry, in this business, to have a big presence in the social media. I know years ago we used to say, "Oh, this is not a business for social media." I know this is not a business for this is a business that need to be people to people. But I think that we have proven differently. I think there's a way to grow it, and then one of those ways, and I know this is not a mystery anymore, is attraction marketing. How to do that? How do we create that? We do that through having important posts. We do that through having a lot of interaction, and most importantly, exposure, or as we call it in the business, a big social media presence. So to talk about that, we have here tonight a fabulous person. She is my friend, and I got a chance to meet her a few times in a couple of meetings, and I am so glad to have her here because she has been studying this subject. She has been taking her time to learn about it, and today she is willing to share that wisdom and that information with us. So I'll give you tonight Cindy. She is going to share with us about 4 important posts or popular posts to share and create more attraction in your social media. But also, she just mentioned something that is important for us as network marketing, and it's going back to basics. So she's going to be touching on that. Cindy, take it over.
Thank you so much, Dan. You're seriously the best. Yes, we are besties, y'all. We're friends. It's really nice, Dan, to be able to work with you. It's always so much fun. I feel like we've always been a team, like for it's now been like over 2 years that we've been working together, and it's been like really, really great to learn from you. And your heart is so devoted to all the right things, and I think that you're an example for all of us. So thank you for taking the time to be here tonight as well. And thank you all for being here. I know everyone has a million things to do, but it's really good to get some training every now and then just to hone in on our skill set. And I do want to talk about 2 things. So the first one will be social media posts that are attraction getters. And I have been working with this strategy for a few months now, and it's really, really been working. And I want to clarify a few points, but then the second half of this, I really want to point out a few basic things that I think we tend to forget, or that we never cover when we join network marketing. And what I'm about to cover is not just for network marketing, it's for so many things. If you have any other business or even your personal life, these are things that hopefully should be included so that your life runs a lot more smoothly. Okay. Yes, I am an organization freak. Okay. I do have color coded everything. It is just who I am. However, you do not need to be A type like me to get some stuff organized. I know there was a training on organization, which I loved. It was so good. And I really hope people review that training over and over again, because that's just in life. You need to be organized, but especially if you're running a business. And if you're doing network marketing as a business, you need to get this done. And I've met with so many people. I'm telling you, these last 2 months have been action packed with one-on-ones and meeting new people, onboarding new people, and working with a few people who have been in the business for some time. And I've seen some comment threads that honestly kind of worry me a little. Only because I feel this is hindering your progress. So before I go into those, I do want to talk about the social media posts that you could be writing about. Now, to start this off, if you're taking notes, I don't know if I spoke about content pillars before. If I haven't, then this is good. And if I have, this will be a review because I get to go more in depth into the topic. So I've been having a lot of one-on-one conversations about social media with a lot of people, not just with network marketing. I actually have a few groups of people that I, somewhat mentor, but they ask me for advice because they're running their own small businesses. They're starting little small businesses, and they don't know where to start. Because whenever anyone goes into social media, they hear bits and pieces of information from 100,000 people. And A, you don't know what's real. And B, you don't even know where to start. You're still overwhelmed, right? And that's normal. And the good thing is that for the last, not even months, for the last couple of years, we've been learning how to grow on social media. And finally, this year, I have been able to attract more of the people I want to attract, which will be another topic I will talk about in a few minutes. But that is the key. We're in the best time in order to grow our business on social media. Grow our business does not mean have 1 million followers. It doesn't mean having 10,000 followers. It doesn't mean having 5,000. Okay. I think that is a common myth that people have about social media. And if you have been around for the last year and a half and you have heard about the brand ambassador program with For Life, most people, the big mistake they've been making is that they have been targeting people with giant accounts. Those are, I mean, if you get them and their accounts are efficient, then that's good. But it doesn't guarantee you that they'll be able to move product or be good brand ambassadors. Okay. That does not correlate for many reasons, which I won't go into tonight. What you need are micro influencers is what they're called, but basically everyday people who have certain their rave followers who contact them every single day, who will follow them in every stage of their life and who want to do what they're doing or consume what they're consuming. Okay, some raving fans is what they need. I know the brand ambassador program has like a minimum of 5,000 people, which is fine. So I wouldn't look for people who are like 160,000 or something. First of all, because sometimes they get really cocky about their stuff. And second of all, it's not telling me anything. They could be fake followers, or they could just have a big social media presence, but they're not in the field I want to be in, like it's just not we don't match. There's no chemistry. Okay. So those are a couple of things I want to talk about. So network marketing is definitely the business of social media. Anything you do nowadays you should be establishing your own brand on social media. And I'm not talking about a fancy font color. I mean, if that's your thing, if you want to like organize in like pretty colors and have a whole bunch of really polished things because that is your style, go for it. But you don't need it. Okay. You just really need to be yourself on social media. Okay. And part of what's going to drive the sales, drive you connecting to people is your social media presence. And I'm not talking, about like polished pictures. I'm talking about you every single day. Like, what is your life like? The moment people start sending you reels or memes or just information like, hey, I read about this, I thought you'd like it. That's when you're doing a good job in letting people get to know you. Okay. That's the thing about social media. And it's not about posting hard sales every single day. It's not about posting your product like in every single post, it's not about that. It's about you. So before I go off on a tangent, social media, if I was going to start today, the first thing I would do is review the training I did on creating your own avatar. Who are you talking to on social media? If you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. Okay. And it's fine if some people don't like you. I don't like a lot of people on social media. And what do? I don't follow them. That's it. You're trying to look for your people who you can connect to. And the people that connect to me are very, very different people that connect than the people that connect with Dan or with Adriana or with Claudia. We're just completely different audiences. And there are people for everyone. Okay. It's like, I don't understand why people like to like tear people down. Like even in real life, there's enough to go around in the world. If you come with that mentality, believe me, good things will come to you. So the first thing is I would find out who I'm talking to. And the second thing would be to create content pillars. Okay. I'm going to write it in the chat. If I find the chat, here it is. Content pillars. Now, has anyone heard of content pillars? This is how you structure your social media. Okay. So you figured out who you want to talk to, right? I'm talking to millennial women in their late 20s to 30, like in their mid 30s, that age range, who have an education background, not an education background, but have had like their college degrees. They're earning well, they're single, and but they don't feel accomplished, and they feel like growing up they didn't really have all the information they needed in order to be successful in life. That's my people, right? Now, because that's who I'm talking to, and I want to show them, like I want to teach them about women's health. I want to teach them about the immune system, and I want to teach them that being in your 30s doesn't mean you're over. There's this weird mentality where people like literally people have told me that I'm pushing 40 and that I'm old. I'm like, are you kidding me, child? I'm barely like starting. Anyway, but that's a whole nother thing. So I know, but in order for me to know what to post, I need to create my content pillars. Now, what is this? A content pillar is a common type of post that you will create according to your overall umbrella theme. So I'm going to make this a lot easier by talking about saying I'm a fitness influencer. I'm not, that's not who I am, and that's not what I want to be, okay? But if I were to be a fitness influencer and I want to sell workouts, right? I have an application in which I show you all my workouts, right? I want to sell that to my public. What are the types of posts I would do? So everything that I post needs to come under the umbrella of I'm a fitness influencer and this is like, you know, what I'm selling. But I cannot tell people every single day, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this. Okay, I would go with content related posts. And I divide the types of posts into 3 to 5 pillars. So if I'm a fitness influencer, for example, these are the types of 5 types of posts I would put, and I would vary the way I make these posts. The first one would be, of course, my daily workout, right? On Mondays, I post my program for the week. I post my leg workout, or I post my arm workout that I'm going to have for my upper body workout I'm going to have for the week. You will see at least once a week, you will see a sort of workout I'm doing. A second type of post I would put is nutrition. What types of foods am I eating? Okay, and under that, you could do so many things. It's like, hey, y'all, when I go grocery shopping, I make sure to include these 5 items. No matter what else I'm buying, these are the 5 items I'm buying. Or this is a brand new recipe for, I don't know, gluten-free bread, whatever, right? Or anything that has to do with nutrition. A third post I would put, if I'm like a fitness influencer, would be testimonials, right? Of my before and after, or my why. Why is this something I'm passionate about? Was I someone who was overweight for a long time and finally has been like in shape for the last 5 years? Tell me about it. You know, has somebody joined your program and it has had such a great difference in your life? Post about it, right? The fourth thing I would write about is the fourth type of post could be a Thursday, be like overall holistic health. Like, hey, y'all, like getting your workout in and eating well are 2 parts of a trifecta. The third one would be mental health. This is what I do to unwind in the evenings, or this is my morning ritual, and this is why it's so important, or this is why I journal, or this is why I go to therapy. I don't know. This is why I go to church every Sunday, or I'm involved in the community. You know, those all are the same type of posts that cover holistic, spiritual, mental health. And they all fall under the realm of fitness influencer because you're being holistic about it. And then the last thing you can post about is like your lifestyle. You know, I just got this brand new pair of leggings. They work out well for curvy women. You know, I am usually like, I'm pear shaped. I don't know what I am, but if I'm pear shaped, these are the types of leggings for you. Or, you know, like this is my gym buddy, or like, oh my God, my husband and I, we've made it, you know, relationship advice. Like it's great if your husband goes, you work out with you. The point here is that you have content pillars, right? And you have 3 to 5 different types of posts you can create that all fall under you being a fitness influencer. And guess what? You're going to attract a crowd that likes fitness, that likes your lifestyle, that likes you for who you are, follows your advice. And guess what? You're going to be able to convert those people because you're attracting exactly who would want to be attracted, who would want to buy, you know, your workout regimen or whatever you have. Okay. That is how you become successful on social media. That is how you attract the people you want to attract. Okay. By sticking to your content pillars. All right. So something I would tell y'all to do is find like some person of influence on social media who you know converts a lot, like, you know, sells a lot. Or, you know, they have a digital course and they sell out a lot, you know. People who are very successful influencers in one area or another. Maybe it's makeup, maybe it's clothing, maybe it's fitness, I don't know, what have you. And see what kind of posts they create and then start to notice their themes. And it doesn't have to do with colors. It doesn't have to do with looking cute. It has to do with content, okay? Content pillars are the key. So if I were to restart my whole social media right now, I would focus on who I'm talking to and from there create my content pillars. You know, so if you're looking for if I'm going to get very specific on types of posts you can do, definitely, you know, have testimonials or personal stories, right? 2, have lessons you've learned, you know, lessons I've learned about the gym. Don't hog the machines, y'all, you're being rude. Okay, that's a big lesson I've learned. And it's like something that really bothers me. And guess what? People relate to that. Like, oh my God, yeah, I go to the gym and that sucks. You know, like a lot of people will agree, like it, or maybe they'll argue in the comments or in your DMs and whatever, you know, but you're getting the interaction and you're reaching different people. Tips and tricks, like for example, me, when I first started like doing weights, I was very embarrassed. I had no idea what to do. So I would stick to a corner of the gym. So there's this like shy girl at the gym. There was this, that's a whole genre, by the way, on Instagram, shy girl at the gym. And like the biggest advice was like, find a corner where you feel safe, which is what I did. I would go find my little corner where not a lot of people would see me. I would set up my phone and I would start doing a workout until I felt confident enough to step out, which you will so long as you keep going. But find your little personal space, you know, do your thing. And then when you're confident enough, you're going to start wandering into other parts of the gym. That was one of the best advice, by the way, I saw on Instagram, and I actually applied it to my real life and it worked. All right. So I will actually, I'm going to make a post about that tomorrow, you know, brand new idea. But those are like types of like attraction getting posts you can do. Tips and tricks, lessons learned, testimonials, and a big one is something I did not know this phrase, but somebody taught it to me. Okay, I'm going to confess. I read a lot of comic books and somebody told me about slice of life. Slice of life. I was like, what is that? It's like everyday, common things that happen in your life, you know, like it could be something has to do with like, if I'm being a fitness influencer, it's like, oh, my journey, like how I get to the gym, you know, like my little journey to the gym. And for example, my husband and I have this really cute ritual when we get ready in the morning and then we walk to our gym and there's a cute little view of the lake, you know, or my drive to the gym. What does it look like? Or like my journey, I don't know, my journey after, or something funny, kind of like what nobody knows about working out. I'm talking a lot about working out because it's a big part of my life right now, but what people don't know about working out. A, you're going to do tons of laundry. It's ridiculous the amount of laundry you do. Okay. 2, how many freaking protein shake bottles do you have? Okay. We used to have like a billion. Now we only have 4. Okay. Now we literally only have 4 and they're all Gila Mix. TikTok shop made me do it. Okay. And then another one could be, somehow you're always going to be sore somewhere and you just got to like make you peace with that. Okay. It's just what it is. At least it is in like, for me. Marissa's asking, what about supplements I take? Can that be a content pillar? No, it's not a content pillar. Okay. That could go under slice of life, for example. Okay. Don't make selling a whole content pillar unless you are a shop or unless you have established such a reputation that your page is only about business. Okay. Yes, do calls to action on every post, whether it's to comment, to reach out in DMs, ask questions. You can do calls to action. Of course, that's very important. But what supplements I take are not a content pillar. Those are hard sale posts that you can do every now and then, but you'll really be doing that mostly in your stories. Okay. But that's the thing. People will be like, oh, here's all the stuff. Like today I'm taking like, and on your feed, you don't want to put a lot of hard selling posts because people will be like, oh, that's a lady that sells for life. Or there's that lady selling pills, you know? You can like when people come into your account and start following you, they start watching your stories. And the way you integrate it is, oh, hey, I just prepared like during the day, like you've made other posts about, oh, my journey to the gym. Oh, I went to work. Oh my God, they messed up my sandwich at Publix. Oh, by the way, it's 2:00 and I was feeling drained. It's hot as hell outside. I heard a pastor today was like, look, living in South Florida is the closest to hell you'll ever feel. And I'm like, oh my God, that's hilarious. But he was joking around, of course. And I was like, yeah, you could be funny like that. And say, okay, but I had a tumbler. I just finished it. Here's my tumbler. Here's a whole lot of ice. Here's my energy, my Rio Vita, my electrolytes, because I'm not trying to dehydrate in this weather. And I'm going to mix it with some bubbly, you know, bubbly is a carbonated drink. Okay. I don't mean like wine or anything. So you mix it and this, y'all, it's super refreshing and it keeps me hydrated and it keeps me like going because at 2:00, like feeling sucks. Right. So that's how you integrate the product. Okay. Orlando in July. Yes, it's like walking on the surface of the sun. Yes, you are correct. I agree with you. It is. I went to Disney one time. So this is a bubbly, y'all. This is talking about bubblies. It's just carbonated water. Okay, check it out. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 sodium. It's just literally water. See, I'm selling you right now. But it's delicious. I have these like every day. When we were trying to kick off, like we were so addicted to soda when we were like gaining a lot of weight. So it's like, how can we take that out? But incorporate water that's not like a hint of maybe of something, you know, because I hate La Croix or Croix water. And then we bumped into these. And look, I just told you on that something, okay? This could have been a story. which I have made stories on this. I mean, that's how I would integrate the product. All right. So I know I spoke a lot right now, but here's the key: create content pillars. Okay. What 3 to 5 types of posts can I create on a weekly basis that are under the umbrella of my main theme? If my main theme is women's health, okay, what can your content pillars be? Definitely testimonies, your why. B, things you've read about that you have tried that you agree with, right? Then maybe things to keep in mind as a woman in your 20s for your health. Like I'm a woman, I'm not in my 20s anymore, but if you're a woman in your 20s, go to your gynecologist, like, or like 5 tips I would tell myself as like in my 20s about women's health. Things that, I mean, I would read that. I know a lot of women would read that. So if you're doing like women's health stuff, I incorporate like things I do on a daily basis to keep up with my health. And you can be like, I exercise, I do this, I take supplements because I'm a believer in supplements, and you keep going. So like those are the types of posts that fall under that. Sometimes you will go onto people's Facebooks or Instagram pages or TikToks and you're like, what does this person even do? But other than does, what is the theme of this page? Like, I don't get it, Like, what are you standing for? Basically, it's what are you standing for? What is this for? Ratio of posts to reels. You mean pictures to reels? Yeah. So reels still attract the most attention, but I myself am trying to shift into carousel posts because they are starting to get a lot of traction as well. I would do in the carousel, I would maybe do 7 pictures or, those written statements in 7 carousels, and maybe post 1 or 2 of those a week, and the rest make them reels. Reels are really attraction getting still. So that's what that is, Every now and then, once a month, it's okay to do like a photo dump, like June so far, May so far. Sometimes I'll do that if I go like on a trip and like I take a lot of pictures of my family or take a lot of pictures. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to photo dump here and tell them why it was so important to me. And people like to see what you do in your daily life. And then I have people approach me and be like, oh my God, I saw what you posted the other day, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were watching. You didn't even like my post, but I'm glad you're watching. Turn the posts into reels. I don't know what that means. You can do like short videos for reels. That's actually very good if you record yourself. I myself tend to get a little lazy, when it comes to that. I need to do that more. I still use like music in my posts, but I do need to film myself a little more. So those are very good. Put like a little bit of music in the background and put captions. If you're going to speak in your reels, put captions. Because some people will be watching your reels in the middle of the night and not want to make a lot of noise, or they're at work and they're like illegally looking at reels and they can't hear you, but they can read what you're saying. Okay. It happens all the time. Any questions about content pillars? Oh, that's a really good question, Claudia. Do you recommend just sticking to one platform? This is such a divided answer for so many people. I would recommend become a pro on one platform, but recycle your posts on other platforms. I am really good at Instagram. I am barely learning how to use TikTok because I never gave it the time. And Facebook, I forget it exists. Sometimes I'll open it and I'm like, oh my God, how is this post in here? Okay. I'll only open the Facebook groups. Okay. I don't even know what my profile looks like. Okay. To be super honest. But something I will do is I will create a reel or a post on Instagram, download it, and put it on TikTok. So it's recycled, because the people who follow me on TikTok are completely different from the ones who follow me on Instagram. On Instagram, I have a lot of people I know. On TikTok, I have a lot of people I don't know at all. And usually Instagram gets a lot more traction. I mean, TikTok gets a lot more traction. Facebook, I'll just, like on Instagram, I'll just say, yeah, add it to Facebook too. And then every now and then someone who I used to know 10 years ago will talk to me, and that's fun. I do reconnect. Facebook, I use it more for reconnecting with people I haven't seen in years. And that's led to some conversion. but I don't give it as much time. I usually use it more for the groups than anything else. I'm sorry. But it's still a good place to be on if you like it. Okay. It is still very, very, I think of all three platforms, it is the most social one, actually, which is ironic. But I think older people just like to talk. I like to talk to people, but I like them in my DMs. I don't know. Okay. All right. Any other questions about this?
Well, so can you talk about a little bit more about what you say about finding someone who you like? Because my sister-in-law, as you know, she's an influencer.
Yeah.
And actually my wife is actually doing her Pinterest and another account now that she has, managing all the posting now because she's grown so much. And recently, I didn't know this, but she became a mentor. And then there's a lady that contacted my wife to do her social media, to manage her social media and her Pinterest account. And when you look at it, it's very similar, but you can still see the difference in between them.
Right.
Like it's all, when you look at it, it's all basically, they both do Dollar Tree postings and crafting, but
Yeah.
you look at the content and you can see there's some like a personality to each posting. There's different. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. That's a really good point to make. And let me tell you this, there are so many social media platforms out there. It really is depending on like what you're trying to do. I recommend everyone create their brand. And by create their brand is just be themselves on social media and find people who like what you say. Okay. Because it'll take you somewhere at some point. Like you can use it for so many different things, not just network marketing. And Pinterest is a social media platform I like a lot. I didn't even know you could like, there was like influencers on there until someone told me about it. And I was like, okay, I didn't know anything, but that's really cool. And what you said is everyone has their own flair, and that is correct. So for example, I talk a lot about fitness only because that's like at the top of my head and what I focus on every single day. It's my journey. But there's like a ton of people who give advice about fitness. There are like probably a billion fitness influencers out there, but everyone has their own way of speaking that reaches who you are. Like there are certain personalities that I just like more than others. There are certain people whose advice I like more than others. I feel like it aligns with me. So look for people whose, I guess, strategies, whose personalities more than anything align with you. Maybe even their values. If they talk about that stuff, you know, who do you like? Who do you follow? And you're like, oh my God, I love her. She's so funny. She's so great. Apart from being a fitness influencer, I just like her, you know? Like, I don't know if any of you have ever been in this situation, but whenever a politician's running for election, they'll like get little groups of people and they'll run it like in a private room. They'll run an interview of whoever's running for political office. And then like, hey, what's your take on so-and-so? And some people will be like, I don't know. I just like them. I like their energy. I like what they said. Other people will be like, oh no, I hated them. Like we did not match at all. So look for the people whose energy you match. Who do you like? And if they're, like if there are people who are converting or engaging, who have some sort of influence, there's like a small community behind them, take a look at them. There's like 2 fitness influencers that I love. And I have actually purchased their programs and they're amazing. Okay. And they work really well with me. I've shown them to a few friends. Some like them. And then there's a subgroup of friends that are like, no, I don't get it. I don't like them. I'm like, that's fair. Do you know if there's an app to edit videos where you can speak in English and add Spanish subtitles with AI instant translation? I wouldn't know, honestly. I just do my, what's it called? My captions. My husband has an app. He has, I forget what it's called. Maybe I have it. And whenever I need to add, either I do it on Instagram as a story, because if you do a story, there's a captions option in your stories. Then I just download the video. Okay. And then I post it as a reel. I'm very practical, y'all. I do not get fancy on social media. I don't. The more practical and easier it is, the better, because that duplicates. CapCut does a couple of stuff. Yes, I know a lot of people like CapCut. Let me see if I have that other one. What's this called? I don't know if it's this one, but it's kind of a heavy app. And I can't open it because I haven't used it in a long time.
I know that different platforms are using AI, like Facebook is using AI now, and AI Translate. And I know that WhatsApp is using AI. You can do anything you want in what you call it, in either or, and then AI would translate it for you. So you can do that in one of those platforms. So now I got one more question for you, just because you mentioned that this is what you're concentrating in fitness because that's where you're at right now. So it seems to me like it's important to stick to what where your season is right now. So how feasible is to do like for example, you're in a season where you like social exercise and working out now. So fitness is you're concentrating now. So when you transfer to something else,
Yeah.
should you go ahead and do that same change in your social media?
That's a great question. And I'm so happy you asked that. Somebody just asked me that this week, and I was like, y'all, this is like the best thing ever. Check this out. By the way, Sonia did write in the chat that CapCut and something called Flicky AI helps make videos. So maybe you could check that out. I'll ask Elias right now what app he uses, because I know he does a lot of Spanish videos and he has captions for those, and they're really good. Anyway, so here's the thing. People go through seasons in their life. Obviously, there's going to be a season when you're really into fitness. Maybe there's going to be a season when there will be a season, God willing, where I'll be pregnant and I can't do the same thing I did in my fitness days. There's a season where I'll be a mom. And these are all things I have in mind. And everyone goes through different things in their life, right? Here's the key to all of that. People will follow you first because you somehow vibed with them. There was an energy click. And you were talking about a topic which they liked. The point here is to let them get to know you to the point where they like you and they just want to follow you no matter where your journey takes you. That's the key. A lot of network marketing people who are still very successful. I knew one girl who a lot of people started following her through her pregnancy, actually, when she started in her company. And she had like a home-based water birth and people wanted to know all about that. And if that's your thing, then you probably liked it, doesn't matter. And then now she's in another stage of her life and she'll talk about that. She went into the whole, being a mom, to 3 kids, and her latest child with her new boyfriend who she reconnected with. He was 10 years, I don't know, whatever. I actually know her life story thanks to her Instagram. Now she's in a season where she's getting fit again, and then afterwards she'll move on to something else. But she's like, she'll talk about it. Some of you started following me because of my pregnancy. Now I'm in this season of my life, and she still has a lot of people following her. So it doesn't matter that you evolve because people evolve. People's interests change over time, and that's normal, that's human, and that's great. Okay. The thing is, people will keep following you because they like you. All right. So make sure, that's why I always add, like, in my content pillars, they'll just like the way you talk. They'll like the way you are. And so it's like, I like her no matter what she does. I used to follow this girl who did a lot of makeup stuff when I was in my makeup phase, which obviously I'm not anymore. But then she transitioned into fitness and I still followed her because I thought she was cute and she was fun. And I just liked the way she posted stuff. So I was like, yeah, I don't care if she changed. I'm going to follow her anyway, So make sure that you are genuine in your posts. You are yourself. You show up as who you are, because who you are is really, really, really your brand. It's not the color theme. It's not the content. It's you. Okay. People will follow you. I don't know if that made sense, but I hope it did.
Awesome.
Okay.
You did answer my question, because I've always wondered, I know we create what we call niches, and whether it's Instagram, whether it's online or whether it's in your life, you connect to certain people. And like I've always been into basketball, it's like, but I don't like every basketball player.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. There are some that people will like, they will throw hands for. It's like, no, you do not talk about Kobe Bryant. You do not talk about, I don't know, whoever else. That's the only one I know.
That'd be me.
Yeah. Like if you've seen the Leo Messi versus, I forget the name of the other one, Cristiano Ronaldo, whatever.
Ronaldo.
I'm a Messi fan. People will like throw hands. Meanwhile, these two are friends up here and they don't care. They don't listen to anything,
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it happens. But it's okay to evolve. It's okay to change the theme and your content. Just that's why it's so important to show up as who you are as a person. I've talked about so many different things, but I'm still who I am. And that is who people follow. Okay?
All right.
Before we wrap this up, I did want to talk to you about 5 things So I have been like work has picked up a lot in the last 2 months. I'm telling you, like it's been pretty good, very blessed. Thank you, Lord. But there are like 5 key pieces of basic network marketing things that I think we forget as time goes on, whether we've been here for a long time or we're brand new. So I think it's really good to review. And I'm just going to kind of name them off and tell you why and what I've seen. And number one has to do a little bit with what we talked about is who are you prospecting? I know at the beginning, yes, you need to practice. You need to go out there. You need to talk to everyone. All right. You do need to connect with different people. There will come a point when you will meet certain personality types and certain people that you don't fully connect with. Like, okay, it's weird. It's a conundrum. Yes, you should be open to prospecting people. You shouldn't, say no to prospecting someone, but eventually you will choose a type of person you want in your network. Okay, here's why. I've noticed a lot of people trying to drag in people who just can be quite difficult. And the question is, okay, who are you attracting to your inner circle? Who are you attracting around yourself? Who are you surrounding yourself with that you're prospecting certain types of personalities? All right. Now, I'm not saying this to be mean, and I hope all of us are mature enough to understand this, but you want to work with people who you can respect. You want to work with people who you feel, hey, I can have a long-term working relationship with them. And there are some people that people kind of force into the business, or they're just surrounded by very negative, cynical people or very difficult people who don't want to adapt. And you're kind of dragging them into Zoom, dragging them to use the 4Life app. And I'm like, look, you keep bringing people in like this. Is this the type of business you want to have? Do you want to have a lot of people who don't want to use the 4Life app? Do you want to bring in a whole bunch of people who are constantly, nagging about their life? Okay. This might sound harsh, but who are you surrounding yourself with to prospect? What communities are you going into? Where are you prospecting is the question. Okay. So I know this may be an uncomfortable thing, but sometimes when we go out there to prospect, especially once our warm market is over, include yourself in circles of people you want to be around. All right. I don't know if that makes sense, but maybe, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, prospect around communities you want to be around, right? If you have this whole thing where I want people with Christian values, then, look for your people. There's a whole bunch of things that not related to churches, but related to community events. If you want people who are active in the community, community leaders, go to the, Chamber of Commerce stuff, go into your community events. If you want people who are really into wellness, go to look up Facebook wellness groups and join their events, who are you trying to prospect is the thing. All right. That's one. Number two, what are you offering, right? In person and in social media. Sometimes we want to prospect these oh my God, this guy is so amazing. He's so much. And I'm not saying you're not good enough in that sense, but okay, what energy are you putting out? Am I just a Debbie Downer all the time? Am I constantly negative? Am I a person who talks like this and is really shy? And I've been here for a year, but I really don't want to it's okay, it's fine to be shy, but you have to come out of your comfort zone every now and then. All right. You have to come out of your comfort zone. And if you want to attract certain people, you have to have something that they're attracted to as well. It works both ways. Okay. So are you working on your confidence? Are you, working on your vocabulary, on your business vocabulary? Okay. When I came into this business, I had no business vocabulary, so it was very hard for me to prospect business people because I didn't even know how to talk to them, right? If I want to prospect people who are very savvy in health and wellness, then I need to amplify my vocabulary and my knowledge in that area, right? So who you want to attract, make sure that you have something to offer them, that they are attracted to you as well. Now, if you've been working in the field for some time, I think you know what I'm talking about, okay? Number 3, organization matters, okay? Organization matters. I have been meeting with a whole group of people, who, for example, this is something, I don't know, maybe, I hope I'm not wrong about this, but who only have one email. They're like, I have one email where I manage my entire life. I'm like, how? Like, how is it they have one email? I will always tell people, have at least two, because this is what happens. People sign up, people shop online, people put their emails in random places, and you get a lot of junk mail to your main mailbox. And I've seen people have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of unread like emails. Don't do that to yourself. Okay. I'm the type of person who has 000 because I open all my emails. But here's the thing. I have one email focused on my business. One for my business for life. Because all the news from the company goes there. All the news, like all the people who email me, who are leaders or who are prospects or who I'm emailing for my For Life business, they go into that one email. So I know everything's organized there, right? If I know this email has to do with For Life. So I don't know how many of you have leaders who go to convention, but I get a lot of people who are like, hey, I don't know how to find my ticket. I was like, the company emailed you. It's like, they're like, I don't know how, it's lost. I don't know. So I help them go into their email boxes and I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, well, yes, you have a lot of junk. Also, you need to learn how to like look for this stuff. And how are you going to see it when it's stuck in between a lot of Costco, Walmart, and Publix emails, like you need to organize that part of your life because it gets hectic. And if your life is disorganized, like your business will be disorganized. So I have one for my For Life business. I have one for all the stores I go to where I get emails. Like I love Old Navy. Okay. I love Banana Republic. So all my shopping emails, I know will go to one place. And that's where, hey, I want to shop for this. Let me see what promotions come in. That's another place, right? I do not want to mix that with my business. It's just two different things. I personally have a third email where I have like other things. I do investments in real estate. I love real estate and I am investing, right? So we have like a property where like all the things, the insurance, all the things with the renters, all the things with this, and this, all will go into that email. I cannot have that mixed in with all my shopping emails, right? So for every big area of your life, if you have many big areas, right? Have a separate place to log those. If you feel comfortable combining a few of those, that's up to you, that's you. But make sure you organize your emails. I'm very like surprised how many people run their entire lives around one email account. They're free. You can have more than one and you can organize yourself a little better. I just feel like I've met a lot of people who are also a little scattered and people who don't know how to use their email. So practice with that. I mean, the company will send you like sales. They will send you important notifications about your account. I have people who have almost missed great escapes because, oh, I didn't see the email. Like you need to read your email, right? You need to be able to see it. So that's really, really, really important, y'all. Okay. Number 4, energy matters. And I think that goes back to the point I was making about who are the people you want to attract. Your energy matters. And I'm not saying you have to be happy-go-lucky all the time. God knows I'm not, right? But your energy out into the world is who you're attracting as well. I have met some incredibly tragic people. And not tragic in, I was born in a third world country and they're bombing me every day. No. Things happen to them because, I don't know, they say they're just God's greatest soldiers. I'm like, I feel like a lot of it is self-inflicted because you go out into the world and say, oh, it's horrible, it's bad, things happen to me all the time, all this bad stuff is happening, this, like, my job sucks, oh my God, now look at what they did to me at my job, oh my God, no, that person talked to me like this, look, everything happens to me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bad things happen, yes, but you cannot live in that energy forever. So if you're a business person and you're in a business of people, you have to check what energy you're putting out into your connections or your conversations with people, because people, that's the first thing they will detect. And I'm not trying to be mean, y'all. These are just 5 things I've really noticed lately that have really, really made an impact in the way I see, that I was like, like there's a weird theme going around with people. And so like, yes, well, bad things happen and you're going to be down. Sometimes you're going to cry. I cry all the time, about different things because I can be a drama queen. But if I want to make positive connections to people, I have to let go of some of that negative energy and be like, hey, maybe if I smile at people, smiling at people matters a lot, y'all. Okay. You don't always have to be smiling, but Smiling is a nice thing. Having a peaceful energy is another. Okay. Like those are good things to have. And finally, right before time runs out, something super important. And I noticed it, especially this weekend when I was at a group meeting. We went to give a presentation. And most people, when they talk to other people or they start conversations, they only want to talk about product or business. When you're meeting someone, y'all, you have to have a topic of conversation. And not only about what interests you. You need to be well-versed in different topics so that you can talk to people. The art of having a conversation has been greatly lost. One time, maybe this comes naturally to me, but it doesn't come to other people, and I get it. My high school teacher, this kid asked me to prom, right? And I was going to go with him, and he's like, oh, and we had a teacher in common, and he was worried because his friend group was not my friend group, and he was worried that I wouldn't have anyone to talk to. And our teacher told him, Jeffrey, you can sit the munchkin, I was a munchkin, in front of a water bottle, and she would be able to talk to it. Don't worry, you won't have any problem with that. And I was like, okay, that's hilarious. And you're right, I will talk to anyone. I will talk to everyone. And I will have a piece of conversation to have with them. Partly because I like asking questions. And not just about, oh, what do you do? That's very boring. It's more like, hey, so what are you into? What are your hobbies? Like, what are your plans for the summer? Like interesting questions, have things to ask people. And from what you hear, try to carry a conversation. I don't know anything about gardening, but I will ask them like, oh, that's so cool. So what got you into gardening? What about it do you like? And I'm like, no, I can't. If I have like a fake plant, it'll die, so like we'll carry on a conversation about anything, but you have to be able to carry different types of conversations, not be an expert, but what are you consuming every day? Do you have a topic of conversation? Let me tell you something. This is really personal, okay? I like really come in here and get real personal, but that's okay. When my husband and I started dating, I mean, I am an anthropologist. I have a whole library of books. I have traveled, maybe not like other people, but I've traveled quite a bit. And my husband was not as well versed in like cultural things, So my dad was like, I don't know if you're going to make it because eventually, Cindy, you might get bored because y'all don't have anything to talk about. And we took that to heart, okay? And my husband, thank God, took it to heart as well and started making an effort to, I don't know, read a random article, watch a movie, read a movie about something, the summary of a book about something, maybe he didn't read the whole book, but he read a summary and asked me questions, and we've become so great at like conversations that sometimes we even forget to include other people in our conversations, and that was wonderful for us. You don't need to become an expert in every single topic, but you should be able to carry a conversation with people, especially about their interests. If you're trying to date someone, for example, you don't just talk about yourself. You ask questions about the other person to get to know them. It's the same when you're prospecting. It's the same when you're like, building a rapport with anyone so you can prospect them, right? Because you're trying to figure out what they like, figure out who they are, and not just for your benefit or based on your interests, but based on theirs, okay? The art of conversation matters a lot, all right? What do you do to activate your energy? That's a really good question. So it really depends. If I'm in a really bad mood, okay, I just try not to talk to people, all right? That's just, I remove myself from other people. But in order to activate my energy, there's a couple of things I do. This is like really random, y'all. This is my thing. There's always this one song that's stuck in your head that's like a hit, like that makes you like kind of feel empowered. It's kind of cheesy, but if I know I have to be like today, I had to be social and event of people I did not know, I'll put that song on. I get myself into the mood. I pump myself up in order to go. Like before a presentation, I will pump myself up. I will listen to really good music that I like to get me into a better mood. A lot of energy, a lot of like you being able to carry, like be in a good mood, you have to pump yourself up. You have to put yourself in that headspace, which is why a lot of people always talk about relationships and just conversations, negative energy that you surround yourself with. It's very hard to remove yourself from that negative energy, especially if it lives with you, which is a whole nother topic. We should have that relationships and business, like maybe Dan, you could do like marriage and business. It's a whole thing, y'all. Oh my God. Thank God my husband is, we're in the same business and we get along so well, but that's a whole topic. That should be a training. Dan, you should lead that training. Okay.
It is.
So good. But okay. So in order to get into an energy, yes, Sonia, that's true. Music can be great at leading you to that vibe. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's reading a certain motivational quote, right? What's your favorite quote? When my first year teaching, because your first year teaching is like horrendous sometimes. I mean, it's just hard. It's hard. Somebody told me you have to put your motivational quote like that inspires you, put it on the wall, and every time something gets harder, you need to put yourself in the mood, because I had to present 6 times a day to different teenagers, okay? 6 times a day, back to back to back. That was hard, all right? Sometimes you just need a pump, because sometimes like the kids were hellish and you're like, what is in the water today? Or they would yawn, or they would want to fall asleep. I'm like, I have to keep going. I have like 5 more classes today. So you read your quote and you put yourself in the mood, or you put a little music in between classes, you know, or maybe if you're Christian, you read your favorite Bible verse. I don't know, you know, if you're spiritual, you read your favorite Stoic quote or something, but find what puts you in the right mood, in the right frame of mind. Maybe it's just walking outside, connecting with nature for 5 minutes, and that'll get you better. You have to find
everybody got their ritual, you know. I mean, all the big time speakers and leaders. If you look at Tony Robbins, John Maxwell, you know, they got Les Brown, they all got their different ritual. You've seen how Tony Robbins comes out all the time, and he always says that he gets in front of the mirror, and he got this like superhero post, and he hold it for like 30 seconds before every conference. He does the same thing to get himself of that mind. A lot of times you see him coming out clapping, it's because he's building that, you know, before he comes to it. Like you said, you're not, you know, in the same space all the time where I'm going to do this right now. It's hard. So it's true. You got to create your own ritual and figure out what brings you energy.
Yeah. So that's actually a great conclusion to what I was going to say. And I really didn't say any of this to try to hurt anyone's feelings, y'all. It's just things I've been seeing, things I myself have gone through, where sometimes I'll force myself to try to prospect people who we're just not in the same vibe. We just don't mesh. We have no chemistry, and it's just not working. So I have to go surround myself with people I can have the right chemistry with, you know, or the right vibe, and don't do anything angry, anything like really. Okay. That's just not good. But yeah, that's a wrap up for today. And if you have any questions, definitely let us know. Can we read off the 3? I made 5 points. You want me to read off this is what we're talking about? I said, who are you prospecting? You know, who's your target audience in real life too? What are you offering? So what are you offering really connects very much with your energy. What are you offering to people? You know, if you want to talk to that entrepreneur, do you have a topic of conversation? These all connect. Do you have a topic of conversation with that person? Okay, anyway, I can go on and on about that. Organization matters. So try to organize, and maybe I'm being very specific, but with your emails, organize your email situation. That's just a very weird thing I found in the last 2 months. Your energy matters. So what are you offering? And conversations. Have a topic of conversation with people. All right. People always appreciate someone who they can have a conversation with. There's a lot of.
It's always great to go back to basics. So thank you for that, Cindy, because a lot of time we just lose track of, you know, we get used to it and we get on the everyday thing, and it becomes automatic to us. And then, you know, before you know, you're going in this flat line and you don't know what it is. Well, you forgot about your basics. So it's important to do that. And I'm glad you brought it to it, because I know a lot of us have gone through that and are going to continue to go through it, because it's just the way business goes. So it's important always to refer back to the basics.